So got anybody in here? Got anybody in here? What's up, everybody? What's up, man? Figured it'd be easier to go live before all the holidays. Waiting for Jason to get on, so I'm gonna hop on here with somebody else. Merry Christmas to you too, man. Jason, if you are watching, you need to go click that link. I don't know if he's even in here. What's up, Donald? Merry Christmas to everybody. Dude, I have been getting it. What have all of y'all been up to? I feel like it's down season, or I feel like it's build season for everybody right now. So anybody got any big plans? Anybody chopping their car up? Am I the only one that's chopping my car up? Or is anybody else chopping it up? Dude, have you okay, so you just described to his channel. Do you see that? That his that boy is building, son. Like you wait until you see how I do my bars. It's a joke compared to him. And he's doing it from his house, like straight up in his garage. And I mean, he went and bought all of his tools. He says that they're not the nicest of the nice, but they're light years ahead of what I have. Donald, I appreciate that. There's a lot, y'all. I have been pumping a lot of videos out. One a day is a lot, but I don't know how else to do it without leaving y'all like behind, or leaving you in the dust, and then you don't catch up. And I want people to be able to look back at it and it help them, every single step. I feel like too many YouTubers leave leave steps out, or just want to make entertainment videos. And I don't expect a bunch of people to jump on here tonight. It's kind of unplanned, the last minute. I didn't really like advertise it. I need to start like scheduling it. Tubing from A&D in Indiana, about when I vouch for me. That's where I get awesome. See here, we have like Southern Metals Wholesale, which is where I buy the tubing. What's the tubing called? That's like rolled and then welded. The seam is welded. That's what I put on like the front end. But then like the cage is all the DOM tubing or whatever. I get that from another place called Gulf Stream. They're the only ones here that have DOM tubing, because getting that stuff shipped is very expensive. 3 projects about to begin. You're my kind of man. Yeah, DOM. But what's the one that's rolled with the seam welded? I thought DOM is the solid tube that I like put on the cage that's not welded. I thought there's one that's rolled that's welded like long ways, and then there's one that's just straight up. Okay, so DOM does not have a weld. That's what I thought, because that's what is going on the cage. So when we add the dash bar, when I add the dash bar, it's going to be DOM tubing. So it's just regular mild steel. But does it have a name for that style of tubing when it's rolled and welded? Or is that, I mean, I guess that's just what all tubing is, or all pipe, like everything is rolled and welded besides DOM. I'm guessing. How's my man? My man posted on Facebook that we're gonna go live. He's gonna jump on here, and then here it is 7 o'clock, and nothing. Just regular mild steel, no name that I can think of. So I'm guessing that's the only two types of tubing as there is there just the DOM and then the tubing that's rolled and welded. So I guess all the chromoly and everything like that literally just falls in the same category. There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Sorry, I was eating.
You're supposed to already have all that done, man.
Yeah, I can't help it. Wife made some smothered cabbage and sausage. I don't know if y'all have that up there, but that's a southern thing here.
No, we don't. We don't have that. So you're
Probably
down
should.
near like Louisiana, right?
Yeah, I'm only about I don't know what, about 35 minutes from the Gulf, something like that. We're close. I'm all the way at the bottom.
Yeah.
All the way at the bottom.
That's not correct. Okay, so in the comments, if it's not chrome molly and it's crom molly, how do you say that?
Uh,
Crom. I thought it was chromoly. I always say
it is.
chrome.
It is. It is chromoly.
Well, why? Fun. Why are you saying it's crom molly?
I think they're just
Okay.
struggling to spell.
No. He's got the scientific the word down there. No, my man knows what he's talking about. It's
He's official like a
chromium.
referee whistle.
Yeah, no, he knows what he's talking about. I can tell.
Hey,
Anytime
can
somebody busts
you
out a
open this?
technical.
Can you open this roll up door? Did he hit you with the exact copy and paste off Google?
No. He has the exact word. He's smart. What's up,
Well, he's
momentum?
probably smarter than me.
I mean, so a couple of these people is already watching your videos. They know what you
Uh
got going on. So you're not going to be able to get on here in
oh.
front that you don't know
Yeah,
that you don't know
it's
anything.
fine. Hey, fake it till you make it, right? Can you turn it over to me?
I'm the one that
What's it on?
faking it
What's
till I
that?
make it.
Maddie's phone. Yeah, I
I
mean, no. See, you have way more proof that you know what you're doing than I do so far.
dude, you wait until I release the videos on these down tubes that I just did. You're gonna lose your mind on the way I do my tubes. There's gonna be so many bad comments on there.
But did it work?
I mean, yeah, it works, and it's not inside the cage where it matters, so we're good.
I mean, listen, unless you bent the tubes using your truck and like a come along and a tree, I can't mess with you.
We bit. How about if we bend them on the frame rack?
Now that's a smart tool. Pull it. Can you?
Momentum. Appreciate it.
Let's get these
Momentum.
back.
Yeah, it's. I have
I
been.
don't want to lose signal.
I have been
Pull them back.
busting
Some
my
right here.
butt like every single night working on that thing, man.
Well,
I hope
what's your
all
goal?
y'all.
What's your goal? The first? You got a few days left.
It was the first, but we had some setbacks on some other stuff that has not even been released on the channel yet. So I actually ordered some chromoly this morning for certain pieces. So that was, I basically had some pieces built, and then they are not going to work. So,
Huh. Dude,
but
story of my life. Well, look at
momentum,
that unit there.
look at that. See, all right, y'all. That's his project, and then my junk back here. You wait until you see how I did my junk. He's over there with the TIG welder. My TIG welder's in a cardboard box.
All right, hey. What I just tell you last night? Get it out.
It's gonna get out. Spencer, you're right. I have no clue what I'm doing, and I'm just stupid enough to show everybody in the world that I have no clue what I'm doing. But I want everybody to know that you can have no clue what you're doing and do things also and learn. Don't be scared to mess up.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different. I told you I didn't know how to TIG weld at all until this deal happened, and it was one of those things. Hey, either we figure out how to do it, or I just quit racing, and I'm too stupid to quit just yet.
Are you seeing the comments?
Let's see.
You're gonna have to
Uh,
click the chat thing. He had
oh, hey, there we
somebody
go.
asked
Sorry.
somebody asked if
It's
you got a deal.
no. Golly, and I wish y'all. So it's all dough call tubing, and it is compatible with chromoly, so you can mix match whatever you want to do with them. Dough call is kind of the next latest and greatest thing. I don't know if most of y'all follow, like, obviously Street Outlaw guys. A lot of their new chassis, you'll kind of hear them mention dough call, and it kind of caught my ear, and I started looking into it. A lot of people don't use it because at that time it was about 30% more expensive than chromoly. It's called a specialty tube. It has a seam down it, which I really like because it's a perfectly straight line. So whenever you want to cut or make something, you already have a perfectly straight line to go off of for reference. But anyway, when I started this build, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do it, I want to make sure that we have the latest and greatest because it might be 2047 by the time I'm done, and I don't want it to be outdated.
That's what happened to
So
me.
exactly. So I had my old truck. It was I sold it to a guy in Tennessee. My old truck's still going around. I called it Hate Train as well. It's black and purple. I built that truck myself across 10 years. It was full factory frame from the back of the cab to the front bumper and all that stuff. And it worked great, but we were going way too fast. So I'll tell you this, they still have the power plant, so I'm not going to really say what it went,
Go,
unless they were ready for that. But
go let them peek in the background at the chassis while you're talking. So these people that
yeah, so I don't want to lose signal. So if
no,
I start
don't,
breaking up, you got to tell me.
just where you can see it in the background, just all the tubes. That is a full blown tube chassis that he's building, y'all.
Mhm. Yeah, it's based on a 25 too, but if you look up there, that's how it all started.
Yeah.
20 foot sticks. And that's about $4,000 worth of tubes sitting there and there.
How much is one 20-foot stick? Because before you say that, what I just paid for one 20-foot mild steel stick that I'm doing the front with, I paid $37.88 for one 20-foot stick.
I didn't pay $37 for one stick.
What's one stick
Um,
roughly?
Tim, what is it a foot? I think it was 10 or $11 a foot. It
Yeah.
was 10 or 11. But no matter what you do with mild steel, 750. No matter how many bars you have, 750 is the fast you can go. So
um,
that's what my
um,
other.
unless you're in the South and race outlaw tracks, then you can run a pro mile with mild steel.
See, here's the deal. I do live in the South, and I can get away with it. My problem with that is as much as I love racing, I'm not dying in
Hey,
that thing.
that's what I would do if I was building a full tube chassis. I would do what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. So that was my thing. When the last truck came out, we went to Baytown over in Texas, and I made some test rips on 25 pounds of boost. I lifted at the eighth mile, and we coasted a 750 flat and a quarter. So that's when I knew that it was time to step up. It was truck was fast, it was working, but it wasn't safe. I mean, it wasn't ready for that. So that's how this all that's how this all started. And I had a chassis guy that I used, and I never really went public with a story, I guess so to say. Long story short, I wanted to put a big block in my old truck, and he shut me down. He said, "Not gonna happen." I said, "Why?" I need to go faster. He says, "No, it's not safe." And he wasn't wrong. He was correct. So he said, "Hey, we need to build a chassis." I said, "I can't afford a chassis. It took me 10 years to build the last truck. That's a long time. A long time." He said, look, man, I'm going to help you out with some labor on the deal. Buy the tubing. We're going to put this together." I said, "Well, Bubba, in order for me to do that, I have to sell my truck." And me and you both know, like, how much money you have in your car, it's an ungodly amount, okay? It's amount you
You
don't even think
normally
about.
you normally don't get it back.
You don't. You don't. I'm gonna tell you right now, I sold my old truck for $45,000.
Yeah, that's
You know
way.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's nothing when it comes time
No.
to do that. So I had to sell it in order for that to happen. And I told him, I said, "Bubba, I'm betting everything on you. If this goes south or you screw me, I'm done. I can't come back from this. You know what I mean? I can't afford to pay to have a chassis built." "No, I got you. I got you." Well, he didn't. He went belly up. Man, he didn't just get me. He got about a dozen people to the tune of like a whole lot of money, like an ungodly amount of money. And dude, I was depressed, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. We eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, and I was very depressed.
Yeah.
And so I said, "You know what, man? Let's try it." And I got some super badass friends, and they're like, "Dummy." You know what I mean? So I mean, it's turning out pretty damn cool.
Somebody had a question about the filler rod you're using.
Oh yeah, I see right there. ER 70 is a lot of good for on mile steals and stuff like that, but you generally go to ER 80 with the dough call stuff.
Then
And
25.3 G body Monty running for so far. I have no clue. It seems like everything's 100K and up if it's a good car.
yeah, I mean a 25.3 G body. So a 25.3 difference between a 25.3 and a 25.2 is what weight it's rated for. I think a 25.3 is good for 3,600 pounds.
Mm,
So that's a pretty serious chassis. 25.2 is 3,200 max is what it's rated for. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I see right there. AED. AED is who I bought all this stuff through, and you are correct. They can't keep enough of it. We saw them guys over at PRI, and it was good to finally talk to them. But so what happened is since COVID and everything, and the import taxes and everything getting crazy, the price of Docol is not much different than Chromoly.
So,
So
so all of it's imported.
man, not all of it. Don't make me lie, because I don't know the logistics. But all I know is when everything went south from COVID and dealing with
They couldn't get.
politics, politics, and being able to get things, prices changed drastically. Chromoly went way up, and it's not that Docol went down. Chromoly went up.
Was chromoly a stick roughly like 20
I
foot
don't
stick?
know.
You don't even know.
I don't know. The little bit of chromoly that I do have, because they don't make every size in Docol. So like, um, I think the smallest they make in Docol is 1 inch
But
or
y'all got
3/4.
y'all got to understand with Jason, like he's got way nicer stuff than I've got, but he's doing it the exact same way as me at his house, like
Yeah,
literally just right in his yard. He said that he bought all of his tools himself, and that they're not the nicest. They're way my all my stuff's Harbor Freight or hand tools.
I
Um,
built most of the chassis with $100 notcher from Summit, the Eastwood notcher. It was
uh,
$100. I built most of that truck with that.
And when I build another car, then I'll probably start because right now I can't take that time. But like, see if I start another chassis or another car, I'm gonna put like a 3 year build window on it, so I can spend 1 month learning how to bend one bar, and still be making content with this one and still racing this one. Whereas right now, that's what somebody was like, why don't you TIG all this stuff up? And it's like if I bust out that TIG machine, that's what I told John the other night, and try to teach myself to TIG, it's gonna hurt me so bad on productivity right now trying to get this car back together. I might as well just stick with what I know for right now.
Man,
Because I'm
you're
not building nothing from scratch. This car is not going that fast. The next one I build, then we're gonna build something like that.
yeah. Um, you'd be surprised when you finally rip out the TIG. I think you're gonna surprise yourself.
Oh, I laid some TIGs with that last one. I don't know if you even caught a glimpse in that
Mhm.
video where I tried a Harbor Freight TIG welder, and the machine was terrible. But I actually got a couple decent aluminum stacks down.
Yeah, see, I had an old Miller machine, like a 1996 model TIG machine, and I kept trying and trying. And it got to a point where I was like, I'm not going to be able to build a chassis because I can't TIG weld,
Hmm.
and I can do all kind of other type of welding and stuff. But for some reason, it just wasn't working out. So finally, I bit the bullet and I bought that prime weld. And I was like, man, maybe it's a machine. So I'm telling you right now, as soon as I fired up that machine, it was night and day difference.
Yeah,
Maybe the machine was
that's
just
what
so
I'm hoping
old.
for. Yeah,
It
that's
was it was night and day different. So it makes all the difference in the world. Good machine makes all the difference in the world. But I mean, my other truck was mild steel, man, and I migged a lot of it. Unless it still had an interior like your car, man, the sparks and stuff, that was just a fire waiting to happen.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Y-
we the carpet that we pulled out. We when we did the 4 link bars in the back, we caught it on fire changing the brackets. We burnt through the carpet a couple times.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what sucked. And my other truck, I took my other truck, I took carpet and I stuffed it under all the bars too.
Yeah.
Is the tubing as good, or do you see tubing not checking out? Nope. All the tubing's good. SFI has done all the testing on the tubes. They did all the bends in the seam and outside the seam to see if it would lose rigidity, and it didn't. Actually, Docol has some mild steel properties to it, some characteristics, should I say, not properties. So it can handle fatigue a heck of a lot better than chromoly. Chromoly has a lot of mill scale, so you have to do a lot of cleanup to weld it properly and stuff like that. This dough call, everybody comments how clean it looks. Yo, I never. That's not wiped down or nothing, and it looks like that. And it's. I live in South Louisiana. It's 200% humidity. I mean, we practically breathing in water,
So
and it
will
looks
that
like that.
stuff rust? That stuff will rust.
Only the spots you see that have like a very light surface rust on it is from where my oily hands have touched, and you can wipe it off.
But what happened if you left it outside? Would it rust as fast as mild steel or no?
Oh God, no, no,
Okay.
no. It's not it's a good material. They call it the fabricator's dream because it handles heat very well as well. So like you start welding on chromoly, and once it's hot and heat soaked, I mean you're done. You know, you got to
It
move
gets
on to something
brittle,
else.
don't it? Don't it get brittle?
Yeah, yeah. I'll start cracking.
Yeah, because
So
the little bit of chromoly I ordered, we'll be letting Mike weld that crap because he can weld it, but I'm not messing with none of that.
yeah, exactly. But it's it's coming along. Right now, I'm working on the funny car hoop area tonight. Got the seat mounted up. Got some Zeus tabs put in. I'll tell you right now, that was nerve wracking drilling holes in a carbon seat.
They're expensive. My seats, for my two seats, which are not like them style, mine are. I don't know. I don't know. I think mine are a little more generic, but mine were 1,000, right over 1,000 for the
Yep.
two seats. So
Yep. It's extremely high and it's extremely frustrating because I don't make some magical amount of money. It was a struggle to get the seat, and then as soon as I have it, I'm like, all right, cool. Now I got to drill holes in it, and I hope they're in the right spot.
787 a foot
Yeah.
for wow.
So, I mean, you're factoring a 20-foot stick. That's $3 difference. I mean, you're not talking much money when it comes to race world and a difference between chromoly and dough call at that point.
Yeah.
I just it's up to you if you want to splurge. I don't think it's that drastic of a price difference.
No.
It makes it much nicer working on too. Like I said, you take some acetone, wipe it down, and weld it up, man. It's easy.
That's
Chromoly,
all.
you gotta sit there and get all the mill scale off.
But you go local pick it up or you have it shipped? You have it shipped, right?
No, God, no. I wish it was local. The only place that I know of that you can get dough call is AED, and they are in Indianapolis,
Okay.
Indiana.
Okay. So it straight up shows up to your door in a 20-foot stick?
Oh yeah, you're paying freight. It's 18-wheeler. It's a minimum $500.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's extremely high. So like I got lucky the last time. I had a guy on Facebook. That's why I always ask on Facebook. That just happened to be moving from that area down to about an hour west of me, and he was like, "Look, man, I'm bringing my enclosed trailer anyway. Slide me $200." I said, "Deal." And he picked up the tubing for me and brought it down.
So how do you even get in the ballpark of how much you need? Because obviously, if a normal person is buying it like me, I'm going to order it. I don't have somebody picking it up in a trailer. So how do you even figure out the ballpark of how much you should order? Or is it in like the book of roughly what it would take to do like a
Hmm.
25 two or whatever? The book don't even give you a ballpark.
Nope, nope. Tim, grab my book on the truck. I'll show him.
So what?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's no ballpark because every vehicle is different. That's my buddy Timmy. He's always my helper.
So how did you figure it up? You just said send me a dozen sticks or 2 dozen sticks, or you just guessed?
I tried to roundabout, so I promise you there's gonna be extra. Look, he's got the book
You think
here.
this either wouldn't be extra with me because I'd be done messed it all up.
That's what you get right there. That's just generic
Yeah,
of what it has to be,
yeah,
and it tells you how far apart the gussets have to be, what bars have to run into each other and stuff like that. They can't put a measurement because every car is different.
yeah. No, yeah. I didn't know if it was like a ballpark of if they're like uh,
Man, what you do is if you're doing a tube chassis deal, so like I have a factory frame grafted in the front, so mine's not technically a full tube chassis. We both know that
yeah. It's a
it's
it's a tube
it's a
chat.
full tube chassis. We talk about that's that gray area. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
I don't want to race a tube chassis car. Well, I got 20 inches of stock frame that says
yeah,
otherwise. It's stupid. I know
yeah.
it's stupid, but I'll pull a measurement. You pull a measurement basically from the back of the truck all the way to the front, and then you're gonna start multiplying that. You need two lower frame rails, so obviously it's not gonna be running the whole distance of the vehicle, but trust me,
True,
the extra is not gonna hurt.
true.
So you do a roundabout, and it doesn't hurt to have extra because you're gonna mess up something. I promise.
Yeah, there you go in the comments right there.
What's that?
How many sticks have you used?
I don't know.
You
Probably
know,
6 or 7. Probably about 6 or 7 sticks.
to get where you're at,
Hmm.
I would
Yeah,
think
20.
more than that.
Well, not everything's inch and 5/8. He said inch. That's
Oh,
inch.
okay. Oh,
One
yeah.
point
Okay.
sixty five is inch and 5/8.
I got you. Yeah.
So
True.
all your ladder bracing, what I call in between the upper and lower frame rails, that's 1 inch. Your main hoop around there, like so, if you look at this, all the red bars are inch and 5/8. All the yellow is inch and a half. So you see, not everything is inch and 5/8, and this is only based upon what cert you want. So this is based on a 3,200 pounds or less. If it's a 25.3, then those yellow bars start turning red because 3,600 pounds is a lot.
Yeah, man. So if you can, well, yeah, if you're on tube chassis, you should be able to get the weight down. Now,
God. Yeah.
have you seen? I'm guessing that you took your factory frame rail and you capped it and butted into it. Have you seen the people that's cut the frame rail open and ran the tubes through it and then stitched it back closed?
Yeah, that is trick. I've also seen where, so some of the true street classes I've seen, you're supposed to have factory frame to the back of the cab, and I've been seeing them do a skin tag is what I call it. They cut the whole frame except for the bottom layer, 1/8 inch thick, and it's just tack welded along the bottom of the
Yeah,
frame. I
or
said, "See,
if you
that's
have
the
a
gray
box,
area."
or if you have a
Yeah,
box, they're cutting three sides off the box. That's
yes,
see, that's what I wanted to do in the rear of this car, which I back halved it way before YouTube. But the next one
mhm,
I build, I literally want to leave one side of the box of the frame rail in there and just hang it off the chassis, like so that it's full. I want full frame rails, but there's only going to be one side practically. I don't care where
yeah,
they go. We'll mount wires off of them, but it would just be so gangster to have the full part of the frame rail. What's up, James? Yeah,
yeah,
see, that's y'all. That is nuts. That is not what I'm doing over here.
yeah. That's build a K member from scratch.
Yeah, that's
It's a
that's crazy.
yeah, it's it would have been way easier just to do a tube chassis. To be honest,
Yeah.
like full tube, like no frame at all.
Now your little braces that you welded to the chassis table to hold like the factory section up. Did you use the
Mhm.
expensive tubing or mild steel?
Nope, I use mild steel that we cut out of the old truck.
Okay, that's
We
what
are
I was about to
definitely
say.
not using expensive stuff. So it
That's
was a
what I
full
was
frame. We bought a whole nother S10, and it was a full frame. We stripped it here in my yard, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I think it took us 2 days before I finally welded it to the table. I was so nervous. Is it square? Is it level?
Yeah,
Okay, it's not square. Let me measure again. Well, this tape measure says something different than the other tape measure. It was it was nerve wracking. I'm gonna tell you what's really nerve wracking is when I finally got to the point that I set the bed on the truck, and you're like, I know I did everything, but I really hope these wheels line up in them wheel wells, you know? So you finally put it on there and it all lines up, and it's kind of a little sigh of relief.
I would have been checking myself 100 times. I've been putting that bed on every single week and checking measurements.
Well, again, it's generally just me, my wife, or Tim over here, and it's not often all at the same time, so it's kind of hard. It's still a
Yeah,
steel bed. It's not fiberglass.
yeah, no, I get it. Now you just gonna have the skin of the bed, basically, like just the outer skin. That's all
Yep,
that's there.
yep. Yeah, James, I only use one tape measure too. Trust me, learn the hard way on that. And don't do a Harbor Freight one. The end of that thing will give you about an 1/8 inch gap. I'm gonna tell you right
What
now.
Lenny? What's up, man? Did you see my man's tube chassis that he's building over here behind him? This thing is nuts. So
I got a metal shop. Let's see. I'll show you the skin of the bed. It might work, might not.
if it starts wigging out, you just have to step back out. You're a little glitchy. Yeah, it's y'all. I'm telling you, and he's 100% doing this himself. Like he literally is a mechanic by day, so he goes and punches a clock, and does mechanic work for a living. And he's just like all of us. It's just he's taking his time and um, spending a lot of money.
Did
Now
that one
you
exactly right.
Now, see, like with me, when I first started before YouTube, I was cash flowing everything. So as I got a little bit of cash, then I would order something, and that's what I would do to the car, like that. And then it's like when YouTube come along and you start to get followers, then people want to see progress, and so then that's when I started getting used to the credit card because the progress has to happen often faster than my wallet can produce side cash outside of my business.
Yep. And I don't go that route unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah,
I can tell you this. Um, Somebody told me an old racer a long time ago, and for some reason it stuck. He said, "Hey man," he said, "I don't care what you do." He said, "Don't race on credit."
yeah,
And I said, I get it. He's like, cause one day you can wad that thing up, and that's it.
So my rule of thumb is 10K. If the credit card hits
Good.
10K, because like when you start messing with TKM and stuff like that, then bills are
Oh,
10K
that's
like that.
easy.
So
Mm.
if the credit card hits 10K, we're done. Like that, like we're gonna tinker with some stuff until we get the cushion zone back down. I've only hit 10K twice. Normally I can pay it faster than it can hit that, and normally I can keep it down.
Yeah, James. Man, I don't. You should have started a channel. James is building a F body Camaro. It's all tube chassis deal, and he's got it posted on his Facebook, and he's done it from scratch as well. Man, if you want to do a YouTube, you should have done it. I think you should have kept track of it kind of from the beginning, like I did. It would have made it a
Told
lot
you.
easier. You
And
know,
I feel like you've
I
missed so much content.
I have, but man, between house fire and stuff, that slowed us down quite a bit.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah, you can clear coat the chassis. My welds do look good enough to do that. I just don't want to because if I ever add anything or change some, it's easier to touch it up with black. Plus, I'm a mechanic. My hands are dirty, so
yeah.
I promise you I would have that grease and
I
good
almost
lord.
I almost clear coated that rear end when Mike got done with that rear end. I was just gonna do the pumpkin black and everything, and then I was like the same thing. Nah. I was like, I don't feel like number one cleaning it up that good, and number two, I was just like, nah, screw it. I mean, which we went base coat, clear coat, which is still ridiculous because there is no touching it up like
Yeah,
with black. But I figured why not just when you
man,
start doing
it's
YouTube, then when you start growing, then you start doing stupider stuff to just make stuff look good. Whereas, normally you might just spray paint it. But then I told John, I said, well, you know what? We're putting it on YouTube. Let's base coat, clear coat it. That's like the engine. My engine has $1,000 high solids clear on it. It was left over off Randy's car.
yep.
Who in the right mind base coat, clear coats a motor?
You, yeah. Randy's car is phenomenal. Man, that thing shines. Good lord.
Let's see what the comments. The chassis.
James, I'm not gonna powder coat it. And I don't know if you're gonna powder coat yours or not, but this is something to think about. Any new chassis you see that's powder coated, they sandblast it, and no matter what, for months you're making test hits and you're dropping sand all over the racetrack every time you let go of the trans brake.
That's what I heard.
There's no way to get all the sand out. So you can do, and maybe you can chime in a pretty strong like POR or some single stage that's strong. That was kind of my plan with that.
Dude, so I mean, like I did on my floors. I mean, my floors is $15 a quart for single stage. There's tons of cheap single stage and very expensive single stage. But if you're looking for anything like tough, then you just need to go equipment paint. Any equipment or tractor paint is going to be made for grease, diesel fuel, gasoline, wear and tear. That's like you want to go for equipment paint. Something that's going
Right.
to be durable if you're trying to just do something on a budget.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at. I noticed on my other truck, I POR'd the entire cage black, and it was fine. But even from just getting in and out of the truck all the time, it wore right through that with no problem.
Yeah.
So on those high wear areas, they make carbon tube covers and
But
stuff. Yeah, they make it nice. So I would do that for sure.
yeah.
Powder coat's heavy too, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't nothing for them guys to go through 10, 15 pound box
But people don't
of
realize that.
powder
That's
coat.
not a lot of people. So, like Justin Swanstrom a while back did a video a couple years back that the reason why he wrapped his car, most people wrap their cars, if you pick up a gallon of base coat, a gallon of sealer, a gallon of primer, a gallon of body filler, a gallon of clear, that's heavy.
Yeah,
You pick up a roll of vinyl that it takes to wrap a whole car, it ain't that heavy. So a lot of the lightweight cars are not. They're barely any body work on them, and
yep.
they don't paint them because of the weight.
Yep, you can repair them easy too, man. It's
Hmm.
peel it off and rewrap it. I'm not sure. This thing is for sure not gonna be red. Y'all see it red? That's because the donor truck was red. I am not a red person.
Let me do something real fast. Let me grab something.
Yeah, James, that was kind of my point with it. I wouldn't powder coat. It's kind of you can't touch up. It ain't gonna look good. So I'm just gonna paint my stuff too.
The wife wanted the alcohol taken out the freezer and put in the fridge. We got to do Santa Claus tonight and put you know build not race cars.
Yep, I know how that goes.
Yeah.
Know how that goes. Man, another year's done come and gone.
Dude, it is nut Christmas alone. So when we made my last pass, it was before December. And I was like, that was like on Sunday. So that Monday, I think I took a break, but Tuesday, maybe it was Monday. Anyway, I started right away tearing the car apart. And
Mhm.
tonight when I went to get dinner, I was like, holy crap. Like I have literally worked December away between my 8 to 5, and then I see the family from 5 to 7 ish, and then I'm down here 7 to 10 or 7 to midnight for over a month now straight. And I'm just like this afternoon, I'm like, where did December go? Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's right there. That's where
Mhm.
it's at. Like just
Yep.
nonstop.
Man, I'm lucky to have a shop in my house. I'm lucky that it's air conditioned. It's not gonna freeze you out in the summer, and it ain't gonna keep you sweating in the wintertime, but it's enough to knock the chill out and knock the heat out. So it makes it a lot easier. I'm just
Wait.
like you. We work outside every day during the day. So when you come home, you don't feel like having to deal with that stuff.
Yeah, my
You
my
know.
employee, he's like he don't come over or have nothing to do with it because he's like, man, we work on cars all day. I don't want aggravation on my free time to do it. And I'm like, dude, he's not into race cars. I'm like, race cars are not like normal OEM cars.
Right.
Stuff's easier to get to. You build stuff where it's easier to get to, and then you work in the AC and heat. So, and
Yep.
I could work in my socks if I wanted to. Like
Yep.
you can be stressed out doing mechanic work or cars all day long, and then race cars actually relax.
Yeah. It makes it nice. My welder's a Prime Weld 225X. It's about the best bang for buck, and I'm gonna tell y'all what sold me on it is it's a 3 year no hassle warranty. They pay shipping back and forth if you have to any issues within
Well,
3 years. So
yeah, I don't remember what I think mine was a 225 or something.
yeah, yours should be the 225X too. It's 800 bucks, 850,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was
I
the best
mean,
thing for the buck. And yeah,
it, re-
when I bought the Harbor Freight one, then when you add the warranty and all that to it, it was more than the Prime Weld.
yeah, yeah, and they ain't paying shipping both ways if you gotta take it back. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Mine's right around the corner. But then when I
Yeah.
returned it to get the Prime Weld, they hit me with a restocking fee. I had to eat like $150 restock fee, and my employee Eddie was like, "You should have told him that it don't work." He was like, "I wonder if you have to pay a restocking if it don't work," and because it was my fault, I was just returning it. And I was like, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't had no issues. Like I said, it went from an old Miller to that, and it was night and day difference. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's like you said though. Work and this is not it's not the same. I mean, I do a little bit of everything: diesel, gas repair. I end up dealing with a lot of electrical diagnostics.
I know.
Yeah, trust me. I don't even know how I fell into that. It sucks. Jesus, I definitely didn't sign up for it.
Yeah, dude.
Especially with these new vehicles.
Oh man, they're beyond the red oxide eye primer. It's funny you say that, Amex, because I just got in a conversation with my paint supplier this past week for that. I never seen the red primer, and I asked him. It was on the counter, and I was like, "What is that? Like, what's the difference in that primer?" And he was like, "There's absolutely nothing." He's just like the old school guys. That's what they used to use. He was like, and a lot of them still like it. So I have a few customers that buy it, and I had never seen the red. I don't even know how to pronounce that word, but the red primer. I had never even seen it till the other week.
Is it supposed to be better, or is it just the red tint?
They said my supplier said there's no difference really because I asked him. I said, should I be buying that? And he was like, not. He's like nobody uses it anymore. So there's got to be some scientific difference to it. But he said that hardly anybody uses it anymore. That it used to be used a lot.
James said building race cars is a fun kind of aggravation. Yeah, yeah, it's only an aggravation whenever you're ruining $11 a foot pipe. That's
Yeah,
that's when it gets to be aggravated.
that's what I couldn't do, man. That's nuts.
Man, so I didn't I have a JD squared Model 3 bender. It's like one of the first ones that they come out with. And I used a swag off-road conversion. It was like 70 bucks on Amazon to put a Harbor Freight Ram on it. I've only ruined, well, after this week, probably about 3 pieces total that I was working on, and I haven't dropped a video yet, but I kind of cover it that, you save those pieces because there
Mhm.
will be a spot that you can
You use
cut
a
it
little.
and use
Yeah.
it. Exactly. So you save that stuff, and I've been lucky enough to reuse that. Anything that's 4 or 5 inches or longer, I'll save.
I
You
save
never
everything.
know when you need a standoff. Yeah,
I got a box like that with pieces like that. I save everything, man.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those things, and my biggest thing is I was covering too in my videos is that, and you can relate to this too because I know you've gone through it. Is if you have a day where you're frustrated, walk away. Close the shop, walk away. Because all you're gonna do is continue to mess things up from that point on.
Mhm.
And that happened to me. I got frustrated and my buddy Tim was with me and I said, "Hey, we're done. Let's go to the shop," and the next day I come back in and everything went right together.
Mhm. Yeah, I've had a few nights like that. Or for me, I covered it in my video the other week. It was lack of no sleep. My brain was like traffic jam, just like stuck. I was trying
Hmm.
to get something out, and it wasn't happening. And then when I woke up in the morning and got back at it on the weekend, it just flowed like that. And I was like, my
Yeah.
brain literally like just stuck, like not loading. Like when your video just says buffering, like that's what it was doing. It was just no sleep. Like
I get sidetracked. My wife makes fun of me. I get sidetracked easy.
yeah,
Like, and especially on this build, you don't just start at the front and then work your way towards the back. It don't work like that. So you're kind of bouncing around and oh man,
yeah. Because
it's easy.
don't you do like the number one bar and then you're gonna just kind of work off of it forward
Yep.
and backward?
Correct. Number one bar is the single-handed most important bar because if you start that one wrong, everything is going to be wrong, and you won't know it until it's too late.
Yeah. So let the gentleman know the specs on that new build that he's interested in your S10.
Build say it's a 25-2 chassis. It's all dough call. It is a small tire build. That's what we like to race. That's what I've always raced. Small tire, slick, radial. It doesn't matter. I plan to dance wherever we can. Um, where I live, the no time game is really heavy, a lot of radio racing, but we enjoy, when we can traveling. So whatever that means. If it's slick prep or radio prep, then that's what we're gonna go do,
Just
but
bring it on a dig or die and run back of the track.
uh mm,
Hey,
yeah.
to be successful out there, you need a complete crap box and that you can just throw away. Them are like disposable
I'm not
parts.
I'm not sure that I'm willing to
That they
gamble
put the
that.
money in the rear end, the shocks, the drivetrain, and the body is just like temporary. If it's wadded up, they just move everything over and they do like John did with the Saturn, just however it'll fit, they just cram it in
Yeah.
there.
My thing with Digger Dies is man, that's like a really cool deal, but you can't show up to that half cocked. Like,
No,
even John. So I would have full faith in his other car that he has enough data that he can make anything work in that other car. This
yes,
car was new and
no,
untested. I understand going to support the race and your buddies, all that,
yeah,
absolutely, but you have to show up prepared to that race.
yeah.
I mean, what is it? Nitrous turbo? Oh, it's a big block Chevrolet twin turbo.
Y'all need to jump on this channel because you're like I
Yep.
said the other night. You're early enough to Jason's channel. Jason has been a slacker, so over Christmas you can binge watch his whole channel like from that
Yep.
build. You can sit down Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and you can knock his whole channel out, and you'll be right there up to date like that. And
Yep.
then now from now on, he's going to be better about it. So then more videos are going to be coming out, and you're going to get behind way faster if you don't go ahead and catch up to where
Yeah,
he's at.
originally I documented it from you can watch it from just the empty chassis table. I posted up videos and y'all bear with me, they are not great. Jesus, they're not great. I don't even like going back and watching them. But my thing was to document it from the beginning. So I had memories and stuff and little I know everybody really wants to see something like that from the beginning to end because we will finish this. We're gonna start it. I'm wiring it myself. I tune it myself. You said this is really the whole package, so it's something cool to follow along with.
Yeah,
You
Jason's
can
just getting started, y'all, with YouTube. So I've been trying to like give him some
Mhm.
pointers, and I've
Yeah,
been
he has.
telling him to make sure you cover everything. So moving forward, hopefully he'll be able to show y'all because I don't even
Yeah,
know what he's doing like at all. So it's interesting for me to try to catch up. But hopefully he'll show y'all more details to everything all the way to the first hit, and then hopefully he'll show y'all how to set up suspension, how he does the motor, the tuning, everything, and you'll be able to follow that build from what he did document all the way to now, and it should be a pretty fast car. There's not many people on YouTube that document a whole build all the way to the track.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this is, man, I have some of the greatest people in the world behind me helping with this. My engine builder is Mike Henson Racing Engines, and man, over the years we developed a heck of a friendship, and we talk just about every day. And whatever I don't know, I ask him, and if he doesn't know, he knows the right people, to ask. And we're always learning. What ECU? I'm on running a Haul Tech setup now. I was full Holly. We had a Holly Dominator in the old truck. That's what we raced on. I had really no complaints with it until we started fighting the magical phantom issues that Holly swears doesn't exist. Um, at that choice, I made the decision to switch. So we we're running full Haltech setup, the new R5, their big ECU, and all that good stuff. So I had to take classes on learning how to use that. Um,
Then he asked, or somebody else asked if this is your first chassis.
this is my first complete full chassis. My other truck was just kind of like everybody else. You build your hot rod and stages and stuff. Like I said, my last truck, I built along the way in 10 years. We've had a few different motor combinations, kind of like what you're doing to your car,
Hmm.
um, until the final rendition that I sold. But yeah, this is my first from scratch build, and you can see everything pop off. When I'm telling you from scratch, I mean like that didn't have a bender, had to teach myself how to TIG weld, get an SFI book, and figure it out.
He wants to know your. Somebody else asked about you going 17s on the front, 15s on the back, and then what's the YouTube channel name?
Oh yeah, the channel is Jagneaux built, all one word or split it. It's gonna pull you up to me anyway. Um, we are still doing 17s in the front and 15-inch in the back, and that's actually, man, I made an oopsie on that. I haven't really said nothing about it yet, but we have to pull the rear end out of the truck and ship it back. They have to cut the rear end down. I was ready to buy wheels, and every wheel manufacturer kind of laughed at me. They said, not no, but no without saying the exact word no. So the backspacing wasn't right, and I didn't know this was really a thing, and it makes sense, and I understand it now. My old truck was a small tire truck. It was only a 10-inch wheel. Um, it didn't have a crazy amount of backspace. So I never built a truck like this from scratch. And so when we had the rear end built, I narrowed it 2 inches more than what my other truck was. Well, now that's ready for wheels. I put the bed on it. We measure it, go to PRI, try to talk to some people, and make sure that my numbers were going to jive. And they just all pretty much told me no because the rear end's too wide, which would have gave me too much backspace. And you'll probably understand when I tell you, but what it does is the wheel's this wide and the mounting pad is directly in the center, so the barrels step up, and getting tires on and off are a nightmare. Double
Mhm.
bead lock doesn't matter because you still have to slide the bead over the barrel.
Yeah.
So that's why they were like, "Look, we don't like doing it because everybody's going to complain, and we don't want to deal with anything bad or negative getting said about our company and yada yada yada." So I understand, and it would have made it a nightmare changing tires. If I wanted to change tires at a track, we would have been fighting it.
And y'all, his YouTube channel is in my title. So when we get done with this live tonight, that's the name that's in my title. If you type that in on YouTube, it'll pull his channel right up.
Yeah,
And
thank
I'm
you.
pretty sure that yes, 10 soldiers basically started out the same way, and then they just took off like crazy.
Yeah, 10 soldiers did, and then man, I talked about this the other day. I made a post about it. It's blowing my mind that these guys are talented, man. 10 soldiers, all these race car shops are good. They are all stepping out of the building car game and strictly doing parts manufacturing.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
it's better money. I mean, look at me. Everybody's so I don't do customer work because customers complain. If somebody hires you to do a fender and they pay you $600 to paint a fender, then they're nitpicking the fender. If
Yep.
you buy a wreck car and you paint the fender and you sell the wreck car for, let's say, even 6,000, they're looking at the whole car. They're not zoning in
Yep.
on the fender. So you can go
Yep.
to work. I can go to work and do the same thing of paint a fender, but it's how I deliver that fender is how my stress is at the house. And that's the same thing they're doing. I mean, I'm sure they still. So, like the guy that is doing a lot of our chassis work that we refer to as Uncle Mike, he stays
Hmm.
busy full time with another guy, but nobody knows where he's at. Nobody knows his name or nothing. And I'm sure 10 soldiers and stuff like that, they'll continue to build race cars. It will just be friends. So basically, if you tell
Hmm.
everybody you're closed and you don't do it, then you could just keep doing it privately. And
That's exactly what they said.
Yeah, and you could just pay the bills with selling parts.
Yeah, that's what they said they were gonna do. They were only gonna work on cars. It's just like James said. Yeah,
That,
if they know you or if you're already a customer. It's honestly, man, I should have kept track of hours.
I wish I
But
would have locked in.
I'm not as efficient as them guys, so I can't
Yeah.
really say that my hours are would fall true. But when Cameron Johnson posted the price sheet is to build a car, and 10 soldiers kind of backed him up and stuff, dude, people have no idea, and then that's shell shock.
Cameron is my favorite, so I don't care.
Mhm.
I follow Justin and everything. Cameron builds the best race cars because of the detail. I'm a cosmetic guy. I'm
Yes.
more about looks than how it performance. I'm sorry, it's got to look good. If it don't look good, I'm not even messing with it. I don't care how it performs. And so Cameron not only delivers the performance, but then he delivers the looks. Like
Mhm.
I'm obsessed over his flush mount windows. Like people as a
Dude,
welder,
I was about to
the
say that.
time
God.
that it takes to put them lips in.
I just want to know the little bitty, I don't even know what you call it, belt sander that he's using. I don't know how he's even getting there with that tool. Whatever tool that is, I want it.
And what is he doing? He's not busting out a prime well TIG to do that. I mean, what's he doing? Braising it or something? I think he said in a post, or you don't know.
Mm,
I think he said braising it or something.
I don't know, and even I don't know if you've ever seen them, but when they weld on the caps on the end of zoomies,
Yeah.
how meticulous that is. Like he's good, man. They're all good.
And if you mess a weld up, it's trash. The whole pipe, the bend and everything. I mean, because you can't cut it short.
No,
Like because
yeah,
it's been in. So I mean, you got to lay them dimes perfect all around it and nail it the first time. And a
yeah.
lot of
I
people,
do, I do like that. TIG welding is more forgiving than any other type of
yeah,
welding.
but you
You
can
can
still
go back.
crack something. I mean, something can happen.
Abs- yeah,
And,
I mean, my rear end is clear coated. So
okay.
Marilat built my rear end. It's clear coated, and let me tell you what, like you have to have some confidence in your work to do that. I'm gonna tell you right now.
So yeah,
It's
it is
crazy.
braised or whatever with filler rod. I
Oh
was just
yeah, see right there.
they, they ain't busting out a TIG.
Would burn through there. I mean, you know how thin that is.
Hmm. Oh, it's nasty. Whenever I do a patch panel like on a collision, yeah, you bury it in body filler
Yeah, yeah.
per hour TIG. Yeah,
It's it's crazy. Hey, some people are willing to pay the money, and those are good customers. And then some just completely flip shit when they get a bill. Um, there's two ways. What's that old saying? You're more likely to have a customer become a friend than a friend become a customer.
yeah. Okay, so Cameron's still using a TIG machine. It's just a different type of rod, is what you're saying in the comments. Basically, see, I don't understand what's the difference between the brazing and when you say you're brazing something or whatever, and you're taking something.
Yeah,
Um, 2K to wire it. Yep.
20K. Yeah, yeah. I've wired up. I wired up my deal. I've wired up some friends' cars, and oh man, I'm gonna tell you right now, especially a race car.
Yeah, Randy's car. I'm not putting his information out there, but I seen the bill. And when you do that level of stuff, like you pay Devin or somebody to wire them
Yeah,
cars, or somebody like Modern that Justin Swanstrom pays, them bills are steep, steep, steep.
yeah. Devon's not. I mean, it can get up to 20K, but I think just labor side. I want to say Devon's was like 7 or 8. Like just labor. That's not.
That's basic,
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
basic.
Absolutely. Well, you gotta realize when you're doing a race car, you're bending over door bars, you're upside down. I mean, like,
Mhm. Well,
yeah, oh, it's a race car. It's a race car. It's wide open.
but that's why I like how like Modern did Swanstrom's, and I think Devin slightly does his the same way. Is
Yeah.
you can map it out and then you put it on a bench,
Yep.
and you can actually do the hard work, the pin and everything on the bench, and then you just drop it in sections. That's what I like.
Man, you gotta have a heck of shop space to map that out. I don't have that much space.
Did you see Modern's YouTube, or I think it's Modern YouTube video when
Yeah.
they did Swanstrom's car when they did the
Yep.
little pins
The
and
peg.
mount?
Yeah, these a pegboard.
Yeah.
I saw who was it? David Vaser, Night Outlet. He was selling all their pegboard attachments to build wiring harness stuff, and I was thinking hard. I'm like,
I'll just go to
no.
Lowe's. I'll go
Yeah,
to Lowe's and buy some pegboard and some sheetrock screws with some plywood, man.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Jane says tough. Just see put the price on it. Yeah. So Reese Brothers actually has their
I've
price
seen that.
listed like a generic price. You know what I mean? They're upfront. You
Yeah,
know,
don't
bing bang,
call us.
here you go.
This.
Exactly. You know, honestly, man, Street Outlaws has helped our sport, but I'm tell you right now, it made a lot of people um, not understand the cost of
No.
what it takes. You know, and I'm not talking about buying the billet motors or anything like that. I'm talking about just the car to handle what they're putting it in.
Yeah, and that's a good point. The boats are even more challenging because
Mm.
everything is hid behind fiberglass, so it's not a
Yep.
cage you can get around and inside of. A lot of the marine stuff has to be planned out before the fiberglass is even laid, like where they
Yeah.
put all the PVC like down through the floor or whatever to run the wiring. Like
Yeah.
you can't go back like we can on the race car,
No,
drop stuff in a boat and it look clean.
I have no desire to work on boats any way, shape, or form at
No,
all, ever,
yeah, they suck.
ever.
I've done
Yeah, no,
that. They suck.
no. I'm super good on that deal. I've had to work on a few of them, and it is not my flavor. I've laying on your back trying to guess where the starter bolts are and stuff. No, I'm good.
And it
I'm
seems like the boats where the motor is down in the floor, they never get cleaned out. So then it's just spilt
no.
and seawater just all over everything.
Well, man, so like I have an inboard outboard boat, and you use a little sucker, and you can suck the oil straight out of the dipstick hole and change your oil that way. There's people that literally pop the drain plug out in the bottom of the boat and let it come out the drain plug for where the water is. They're just coating everything, dude. People don't care. They
James,
are they are relentless.
James, that's how my channel is. I enjoy. A lot of people get mad. I actually had somebody comment on Turbo John's video the other night, and I screenshotted it and sent it to John. I try to keep it professional on YouTube, but a lot of people were upset with me that I wasn't just race, 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 and that I was spending so much garage time. It's because I sincerely enjoy the journey and the build more than the
And
track time.
more
Track time,
people can relate to that.
yeah, the track time is a bonus and it's a reward, and I want to get to the track, but like if I was to hurry up and then say, "Well, I'm just done with the car. It's done. There's nothing else to do," I would be depressed. I'd just sell it. Like if I couldn't go buy another car to build and to keep working, if I wasn't working, I would be depressed.
I mean, well, here's the deal. We all want to know how to do everything, and
Hmm.
we just don't know, so we search it. Whether you Google, YouTube, whatever. Try on YouTube how to build a 25-2 chassis. There
No.
really there's nothing that pops up. How to replace the strut cups on your car. Nothing's coming up. Even
Hmm.
something simple. How to mount a carbon seat in your race car.
That's good content though. If when
You
nothing
know?
comes up, that's where the content is good
Yeah.
because you're the only one that has it. So when
Yeah.
people search
Nothing
it,
nothing
they're
pops
just
up, man.
when people search that keyword, they're just going like that. Like if you want a comment that is coyote swap on YouTube, that's me. There's nobody else. You want a Fox Body LS swap, you're gonna get just tons and tons. And then that's how YouTubers get lost and then they get frustrated because they're like, well, nobody's watching my video. Because you just LS swapped the Fox Body.
Yep.
They could
Yep.
go
I
watch
mean it's
John Doc if they want to see LS, and he's already got 100K subs. Why would I watch somebody with, under 1,000 subs when I can go watch a 100K sub video LS swap to Fox?
yep. Yep. I get it. I mean, and don't get me wrong, my platform is nothing new, but what's new is I'm showing you exactly how I did it, and
Nobody else does that.
I'm not hiding anything from anybody. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Everything's wide open. Just because there's not a lot of information. I imagine there's people in my situation that maybe is intimidated or got screwed over, whatever the situation may be, and just scared to take that next step. So maybe if I can inspire one person, I'm gonna call it a success. And the difference is like your car. They're gonna see it from the beginning to end, and they're gonna watch you make passes, and they're gonna feel like they were a part of it.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
that's my goal with this deal. And when it's done, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be mean to it. We're gonna travel around this race. I'm gonna try and do Cleese's Christmas tree race. I mean, we're gonna do everything. I'm not scared to stretch it out the quarter mile.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
Paul,
just kind of
Paul, you got to keep in mind. I would love to do that kind of stuff, but John, he goes at a faster pace than me. Like he's ready to go to the track tomorrow, and so there's not a lot of
relentless.
time to work on it. And then him and Brian, dude, they've been friends for like 20 plus years. So Brian and him do a lot together. I've known John and Randy for I think 2.5 years now versus 20. So you don't
Man,
just
yeah,
walk in. You don't walk in on a crew that you've been there for 2.5 years and start taking over the builds. and
Yeah.
everything. So I just try to help out anywhere I can. But yeah, I
Man,
saw.
I like Brian's car.
Yeah, that's unique. That's a unique build. And
I
Brian,
really I like
smart.
that car.
Yeah, and he's very smart.
I wish there was some more content on that car. Like I'm not a Mustang fan.
Yeah.
That one it sits right. It looks good.
But I sit there and look at it in person, and he does his. Me and Brian get along amazing because we both just do ours as self-taught. But he's got
Yeah.
way many years than me, and but I sometimes look at how he's done stuff, and I'm like, man, you are smart. Like just the way he'll
Mhm.
fabricate something or whatever. I'm like, how'd you think of that? And he's like, oh, it's just this or whatever. And I'm like, man, I wouldn't have thought about that. That's when I go to the track. I like looking at how people built the race cars. Like I'd
Yes.
rather be in the pits looking at how you fabricated that, or how you did that mount.
Yeah, I mean, you are now because you're doing that work, but before, you probably just look at, the paint or the body lines or, wow, there's a 3/4 inch gap on the top of that
Yeah.
fender and a 1/4 inch at the bottom.
Hey,
Now that you're building, you're looking at, everything. We went to PRI for the first time and that's what I did. It gave me some confidence. Come to her now, I seen some stuff that some very high end people build. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm good. I'm
yeah.
real good.
Yeah,
You
how
know,
else is or whatever, SEMA, whatever it is that you see all the
oh,
crappy
yes.
people. Yeah,
Golly, yes. I've been to SEMA one time, and that was enough.
yeah,
That was more than enough. PRI was really cool because you get to finally meet and shake hands with the people that you buy your parts from, or get advice from, or talk to, or whatever. So it was really cool to be able to finally meet people.
yeah,
If you have opportunity to go, I for sure would recommend it.
yeah. Yeah, John just a lot of people don't understand how busy John is, and then Brian does his stuff on his own time, kind of, and so a lot of them just don't. Their paths on the content don't cross. Like John's normally busy and Brian's busy, and so it's hard for John to get content on a lot of Brian's car. They got a lot going on. A lot of people don't realize how busy John is. Really, they really don't. If you don't know John personally, you have no clue how busy that man is.
Yeah, I see him stay running around, man. He's moving around quite a bit, and y'all's. I'm gonna say y'all because it's really a team deal. I see out everybody over there. No matter how much you contribute or not, it's a team deal, and everybody stays busy.
A lot of people don't understand that John is 2 hours from me and Randy. 2 hours.
Golly,
2 hours. So when you see him at Randy's shop or he stopped by my house the other night, John's 2 hours. And then Brian's shop, I think, is about 30, 45 minutes, I think, from John's house. So when John's car is over there and he runs over there to work on it for the evening, 30 to 45-minute drive. Like that man just stays burning the roads up. Like,
John needs a shop at his house.
yeah.
He needs a shop in the worst kind of way.
He's got a home garage, but he's pretty much got a setup like me in an HOA. But he's got a home garage. It's just like everybody else. It's full of Christmas trees and storage and stuff like that. But he said that when he started out racing, that he was doing it out of his home garage, and he said that he was progressing faster because you could go out there and tinker on it for 30 minutes in the afternoon and then go back inside
Yep.
versus you got to now put in 30 to 45 minutes to go work on it and then 30 to 45 minutes to come home, which really hurts. It's an advantage when you're like me and you have a climate control garage right there within, at your house. Like you
It
can make
it changes.
so fast.
It does. It changes everything. And my rule of thumb that I preach is in this situation 1 bar a day.
Yeah,
Or
no,
normally I tell
you're
somebody
smart.
one thing a day. One thing a day. Like everybody's, well, I don't have this done. Okay, we'll go do one thing. Okay,
Hmm.
because let's say you're wiring a car. If you ran one wire, that's one less wire you have to worry about tomorrow. You know what I mean? My rule is 1 bar. And let me tell you what, if you get started doing that one wire, or I get started doing this 1 bar, there's a good chance ain't neither me or you stopping at one
Hmm.
thing. It turns into two or three, and then by the end of the night, you're like, oh man, we made
How
some
many
progress.
roughly how many bars is in a tube chassis like that? 100,
More than that. Yeah. Yeah.
200. So even if there's 200 bars, if you did one a day and missed some days, you'd have that
Yep.
whole chassis built in 1 year.
Yeah. I mean,
Even if you hit some hiccups at 200 bars with 365 days in a year, you would still build a tube chassis in 1 year if you stayed at that.
yeah, we did. Maddie, was it about 3 months when we before the house fire when we first started working on it?
Mhm.
Yeah, in about 3 months, we had a full floor structure the tail structure done, and I work full time. So this is only after work.
Plus,
And
plus kids.
yeah, yep, this is after work when our kids don't have games. They play every sport under the sun. Um, and they don't all play at the same time. So sometimes there's evenings, a lot of time that it ain't gonna happen. And then also weekends, sometimes you can't do nothing. So in 3 months, we had the entire floor structure done, the original frame cut down, the tail section, and stuff like that. So I mean, 3 months sounds like a lot, but that's like we were cruising, and luckily everybody was okay. But we were working on the truck in the shop, and our down here, our hot water heaters are in the attic. My house is not old, it's built in '05, but we don't get so cold down here, so the hot water heaters always go in the attic. Our hot water heater caught on fire, and they pretty much got an entire house. So we were down from the end of January until a few months ago. Like a few months ago.
That's the reason why
So
y'all has a gap on his YouTube channel. If you didn't
yeah, yeah,
watch his channel over Christmas, there's gonna be a gap
yeah,
because of the house.
yeah. And I was gonna try and just make some content with some updates. But man, you and your family, you're so vulnerable when something like that happens. All your belongings, and man, you're vulnerable. It was $180,000 in damage done to our house. So it was so much going on, man. You try and keep your family comfortable, your kids comfortable, and all that stuff. And it was just, oh, it was crazy, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, see, James, unless you're retarded like me, and then I put in 4 hours every single night practically, and then the weekend I put the whole weekend in because I have an amazing wife that is even like right now will cook, put the child kids down, wash them and everything while I'm down here cutting bars and doing stuff, and then she
Yep.
just reinsures me all the time that we don't have no issues. Just go, you go and work on your car. My wife's the type that sometimes she's like, are you working on the car tonight? And I'm like, no, frankly, I want a break. And she's like, ugh. And I'm like, why? She's like, well, I kind of just wanted some peace and quiet. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go
My
work on the car.
mine does the same thing, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now. Your support system says everything. So y'all know TIG welding. You either use a trigger or a foot pedal. Um, I hold the torch choked up on the cup, so it's probably wrong, but that's the way I'm comfortable, and I'm the most stable that way. Well, now that you have bars everywhere, I'm a contortionist. I'm turned up all kind of ways. So when my buddy Tim's not here, my wife's here. She sits in the shop and she sits down in the chair, and I put the pedal in front of her, and I'll tell her when to start and when to stop. And she'll sit out here for hours sometimes, and she works the pedal on the TIG machine so I can get things done, man. So it means everything, honestly.
Yeah, Phil. Well, first Amex. I fast forwarded Kai Kelly's video. I'm not gonna lie, and I watched the shot fire, and then I closed it back out because I was busy. I barely have any time to breathe, and I did watch that little bit. But then Phil, yeah, my wife is. You don't find many like it. When I go to the racetrack and I hear guys starting to talk about, you know, they don't let their wives, mess with the money or the finances, whatever. I'm like, do y'all realize that I don't even know how much money I have? I don't know how much money I make. I don't know what I'm in cars. I don't know what the cars sell for. I don't know what the bills are. Like nothing. Like my wife's amazing, where she just handles all of that, and I pretty much just make the cars, repair the cars, and then focus on my race car, and that's like pretty much it.
Yep, yep. Mine's
But if you don't have a good spouse, I always see at the racetrack, the guys that the wife won't let them work on the cars, or the guys that aren't, you can't go to the track or whatever. It's hard to progress like that. All the fast guys that are winning, their wives are either there every weekend or their wives support them 100%, and they don't need to be there. Them are the fast guys always.
Yeah, man, I have a rule of thumb, and it doesn't apply to everybody, but I'm weird. I don't do this for a living.
Yeah,
I don't race for a living. Maybe one day that'd be super cool, but it just ain't today. If she don't want to go racing, I don't go racing. I bought a
yeah,
motorhome for a reason. It was it was to take everybody. I want everybody to go, or I don't go. That's just how I feel.
that's what I want to get.
You know, I I couldn't afford a diesel pusher motorhome. Good lord, like, dude, them things are outrageous. I got lucky and I found one that was a salvage title, needed loving, and I'm that guy to give it loving.
That's what I'm
I ain't
looking
no
for.
I ain't no carpenter, but we figured out when I brought it home, man. Real quick, short story. I'm not a carpenter. I fix cars.
I I'll
Dude,
oh,
I'm in this motorhome, and we walk in it. And we looked at it, and Maddie walked in. I brought my buddy Tim with me, and he's sitting right here, so he's gonna enjoy this one. I said, Tim, I need you to come with me to look at this motorhome. He says, Man, I got stuff to do. I said, Nope, you need to come with me. He's like, Well, why? I said, Because I'm already excited about it, and no matter how bad it is, it's coming
why
home with me. Correct. And I was like, and if it's that bad, I need you to tell me to walk away.
yeah.
He didn't tell me to walk away. He should have said walk away. He didn't tell me to walk away. Uh,
Well, it's just excited.
my wife walked in there. She came with us. She walked into it. She walked up the little stairs. She stopped. She turned around. She says, "No." She walked out and went sat in her car. So we kind of looked around and all that stuff. And the guy was like, "What do you think?" I said, "Let me go talk to my wife." So I go talk to her, and she's looking mad, sitting there in her car. And she says, "I don't care, but I will not walk in there until it's gutted." I said, I said, I said, okay. It's old. It's a 2000 model. The carpet was nasty. I mean, it was just
That stuff's easy to redo. That's what I'm
yeah,
I've been looking at some of the late '90s that are in good shape that were taken care of that aren't
yeah,
na because, yeah, you go in there and throw snap together flooring down, base coat, clear coat the cabinets, and you can have a real modern look, some stick on
yeah, dude. So when I got home, I called my dad. My dad does a bunch of carpentry stuff. Oh god, yeah, Tim's talking about here. He said, so we bought it, okay? I ain't never drove nothing like that. I'm gonna tell you right now. So I got in, we made a deal and I fired up. I'm feeling like a big rig driver. I'm looking for the CB. I'm excited, okay? I got my trucker hat now. We we pull out of this guy's house and I'm like, man, we're big trucking now. I pull into the gas station. I'm like, let me top it on fuel. It's only about a block down the road. I figure out where the fuel door is. I go to open it and the whole dang door falls on the ground. I look at Tim. I said, Tim. He said, "Look, man, it's fine. We'll figure it out." So the things were falling off, and I ain't even made it a block down the road. But I got home and I started taking stuff out. My dad's like, "Hey, I'm gonna come check it out." Well, he walks in. He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, yeah, take it apart, Dad." He said, "No, like, what are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean? What am I doing? I'm taking it apart." He says, "What's in your hand?" I said, "Oh, I had a snap-on ball peen hammer and a snap-on pry bar." I
You
was
bring
using the blood.
trim hammer, man.
That's what it was. He says, "No, what about
That's the wrong
like
hammer.
a claw hammer?" I'm like, "Don't have none of those." He's like,
So
"Oh," he said, "I'm going home. I'll be back."
he asked a question for you. What kind of gumbo are you having for Christmas?
Oh man, chicken and sausage. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a huge seafood person, so chicken and sausage gumbo is where it's at. That's what I was just telling him I got on. I just got done eating some other cabbage and sausage. It was good too.
It just popped up at the top that Midwest Streetcars is live. So now the view count's gonna drop, fall off.
We're we're way cooler. It ain't gonna fall off. Way cooler.
I learned I got on one time when I was a new YouTuber and I jumped on randomly. It was like a Friday night. Friday night you're home, you're chilling, you're like, well, let me go live. It's in the middle of the summer. There was nobody on there, and I was after like 20 minutes. I was like, well, I'm just getting off. And then later people commented and they were like, oh well, yeah, everybody's watching live streams of racing, like of actual live racing. It's not the best time to go live when there's racing going on.
I struggle to watch live stream racing, man. A lot of them don't have a good signal, and it's
Yeah.
it's it's all over. Dude, he said, "What about the price of enclosed trailers? Don't get me started. I'm super sensitive about that. They are priced way too high."
That's why you do like me and like Keith said, you
I
buy a
will.
rent and you or an old one and you restore it.
I will. I have a 24-foot now. It's a race trailer. I bought it years and years ago. Super cheap, and it's been great. But when you build something like that, you need a something to push it with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that and a pushing vehicle is not fitting inside of an enclosed trailer. Unfortunately, that's
Well, unless you
24 feet.
take one like John's, I think John's is I want to say 32. I think 32. You got to have at least a 28 to have a smart car and a smaller
Yep.
car for a Fox body.
Yeah. I want a 34 foot. 34 foot, I feel, will give me
That'd be
some
perfect.
room to breathe. Yeah, that's exactly right. But obviously, I have a long ways to go before I get to that point. If I wouldn't have the rear end issue that I was just talking about, realistically, I think I could have this thing a roller in a month and a half.
Yeah,
That was kind of my goal.
yeah.
But luckily, I'm very fortunate that the guy that built the rear end is going to cut it down for me. it was my mistake, not his. He built it exactly the way that I told him to. So luckily, we're gonna get it fixed. And then after that, get your wheels coming, and you got to wait for that. Everything's 2-3 weeks out.
Yep.
But it's like I said. Luckily, we have tons of stuff to do, so it's not a big deal. But I'm telling you,
Yep.
when you get off here, you need to check out James on Facebook, dude. He's building a pretty sick F
Yeah.
body. He said I inspire him. It goes both ways, buddy. Because some days I don't feel like working in the shop, and I see
Yeah.
your car, and I'm like, oh, well, now I'm obligated. He's over here getting more done than me.
Well, so when you become a fabricator or a builder and you're building, like even if I don't call myself fabricator, when you're building something and you take one night off after you've worked a lot and you turn on YouTube and then you're watching somebody working at 2 a.m.,
Man,
you're like, man, what am I sitting here for? Like, why am I in bed
yeah,
watching YouTube? Or somebody goes live and they're like preparing their car for a race, and you're like, I'm laying in freaking bed. Why? Why?
yep,
Go work. It's makes me feel
yep,
bad.
yeah. One up, and man,
Yes.
I'll get home from work, and I'll be super tired, and man, my wife sit there. Why are you not in the shop? Cause I'm tired, man. Golly, I'm
But
tired.
but this is the thing is I'll force myself to go down here, and it might be like a real slow start, like an old diesel. But then them are the nights that it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'm like, I have to quit or I'm gonna be dead tomorrow. And then you'll still keep going because it's like once you get going, even no matter how exhausted you are, normally you can just keep on getting it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So as soon as that's why I have that one thing rule. So as soon as
Yeah.
you come here and you do that one thing,
Warm up.
that's what you're talking about. It's a warm up, and
Warm up.
next thing you know, hey, it doesn't happen on the weekend. I'm telling you, it only happens during the work week. Next thing you know, you're like, oh shit, it's 12:30, 1 in the morning, and I got to get up.
Yeah. So Glenn
So it's
Glenn, you need to use that. I know you struggle with it a lot. You need to use that one thing a day
yeah,
rule, even if it's putting a sticker on or if it's cleaning the windshield, because it's like a warm up. Once you get down there and you're moving and you're on it, then you're probably going to do one more small thing. And then before you know it, you've got, an hour or two. And then, yes, I am selling the Pro Charger head unit. I have not disclosed a price on it yet or anything. Um, I I will probably be willing to sell it just the head unit or the whole package. More than likely, I'll be listing it on Facebook. And I was thinking about eBay. eBay eats a lot of fees whenever you go to sell something on eBay.
God, they do a lot.
It'll probably just be on Facebook to somebody, and I'll definitely announce it on my channel. But I did say the other day that if anybody wants to reach out and start discussing a fair price, it's as they say, it's not on sale, it's for sale. Um,
Mm.
then you can reach out through me through email. Another thing that I do, Jason, you need to do is I copy and paste a certain thing in my description. It has all of the vehicle's information. It has my contact information, where I'm located at, website address, Facebook addresses, email addresses, everything. So you can always get up with me on every single video that I put out in the description. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, raffling it would be possibly okay. I've tried to do a couple raffles and they didn't go nowhere. It seems
I've
like
never had good luck with that.
if you're not big time where a lot of people know you, it's like the raffle just it don't go nowhere. But I don't.
I'm trying to be like SRC, man. They fill up a 30,000.
Yeah, 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 but I could explain to you off camera of SRC and like John Dock of what they're doing with the raffles. It's pretty
Oh
crazy
yeah.
on the business end.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
they're obviously doing it with a purpose. Look,
yeah,
I'll do something cool right here. If we can rack up 20 more likes on this deal, I'll go pull out one of the turbos, and I'll show y'all what we're doing because I never posted them.
you've never even posted them, so y'all
Nope.
y'all better. There's enough people in here right
There's
now.
enough people here. We can do it. We can rack
Yeah,
up 20. It's 35 now. So
35.
55. 55. I'll
Yeah,
go. I'll go grab one of them units so y'all can see what we're doing.
yeah.
I'm glitching. Hold on.
Jason glitched for a second, but he's back good. So Cletus, man, on the Jeep. There's actually a couple of YouTubers out there that will show what they made on stuff. Like I did a video on what I make monthly on YouTube. It's up now. Obviously, as you grow, your profit, your money goes up. But yeah, there's a couple of channels that have actually showed what they make on a giveaway. The Blue
Yeah,
ST.
it's nuts how that stuff works, man. We were talking with them at PRI, Billy and them, and it's just Hey, and it's nuts, man. I love watching their content stuff, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's funny talking to Billy because he's kind of dry and kind of monotone on the channel, and he's exactly like that in person,
Yep,
100%.
yep, yep.
You know, it's funny, but dude, they have content. What I think they're kind of running into, and it's just my personal opinion, is that they've been racing the same thing so long. Now they're looking for new vehicles for content because it's repetitive.
So
You know,
that's why I tell John sometimes that all YouTubers, you got to be careful not to get repetitive.
Mhm.
But like if you're doing how to though, one thing I firmly believe in is if you're how my how to mask a vehicle. There's nobody on YouTube shows you how to mask up a vehicle. I did that. But after that video gets to be 2 years old or so, you've got so many new subs that are not gonna find it probably, and
Correct.
your camera skills are better, your products are probably up to date. There's nothing worse than finding an 8-year-old YouTube video and the information's outdated. So
Yeah.
on the how-to stuff, if you can redo the how-to stuff, revamp it every 2 to 4 years, then I tell everybody that wants to do YouTube to go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I don't
Yeah,
know who the fun guy is. Um,
I
I don't
can't
know. I
speak
don't.
on
I don't
that.
know. I don't know. That's not my cup of tea or my seasoning to spread out, so to say. You know, that
Yeah,
ain't my business.
yeah, I don't know anything
Uh,
about it.
everybody has their own opinions and stuff like that.
That's one thing that you do learn fast is that there are some YouTubers that, and I'm not gonna put no names on here, but like before I did YouTube, that say, "Come hit us up at the track, come hang out with us. You know, you're
Yeah.
welcome." And then you get there, and they pretty much won't talk to you or look at you. They do it so that you'll feel comfortable in their videos, but then when they see you in person, they won't hit it with.
I can tell you right now, through my S10, which it wasn't a record breaker, it was extremely fast, and I deal with a lot of people at the track. Is I make sure that my wife is educated, and my buddy Tim, he always comes with, he's my right hand, is educated as well. So no matter what, if I'm talking to somebody, they
Yeah,
make sure the things that have to be done between rounds are done,
that's
or they can answer whatever questions. Because I don't ever, nothing's a secret, man. I wouldn't say times because I do some no time stuff around here, but everything else, I mean, you could put two and two together,
yeah. The he
you know?
That's how it is with John. It's like we all pretty much know what needs to be done. There's like when we were at Street Outlaws, there were so many people that wanted to meet John and talk to John. We had to keep getting on him and saying, "Go, we got this.
Yeah,
Go,
absolutely.
go talk."
It's important. It's important, because that might be the difference between that one guy you're talking to getting out there and trying it or
Yeah,
finishing his project or being motivated. Man, some people are going through some deep, dark stuff, man. You know what I mean? And you might be that savior. I hate to say it like that, but
no,
especially
it's
in today's world, it's true. You
true.
can be that person for somebody.
Yeah,
So
it,
it is extremely important.
like me, I it's a flaw of mine practically, but I help everybody. So everybody that's on my personal Facebook page, that people hit me up with paint questions or whatever, and I try to help everybody. And I'm like one of the only ones that I know that the no if so all YouTubers, if their settings are correctly, we get notified when you comment on the video.
Yeah,
Most of them just ignore it. Me, if I'm like, I treat my comments like a text message, and people think I'm crazy, but like I will literally go crazy if unless I'm just really busy, if I don't respond to every single comment. Like I showed John, he thinks I'm nuts. I have to have my notifications clear at all
yep.
time on my whole phone, including YouTube. So I
I do too.
hit everybody back and help everybody.
I acknowledge, if it's just kind of a blank statement, that's not a question or anything,
Yeah.
I'll at least react to it. I acknowledge every single one because, I'm acknowledging that I
Mhm.
did see it,
Yeah, but
and stuff like that.
I started YouTube just like you to help people. So it's like if you started to
Mhm.
help people, then why would you
Yeah.
why ignore the comments? But it does
Yeah,
in the defense, when you get as big as John, because John has a lot,
he
and
does.
even Murder Nova and people like that, you physically just can't. You can't. You
Yeah.
can't get to all the comments. I mean, there's sometimes when a video of mine might blow up that it takes a good minute to get through the comments, like on it. When you,
Yeah. I bet it's, man, I bet it's hard,
yeah,
I bet it's hard, honestly,
it's
you know?
imagine 200 comments on a video within 6 hours or four or even an hour. If you get to Cletus's level, there's no way.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You
me and
can't.
my wife, me and my wife, when we're in bed late at night and watching YouTube and stuff, you just see a video that was dropped, you know, 40 minutes ago and it's 30,000 views. You're like, oh my god,
Yeah,
it's
you can't comment to all of them, and so at that point, like a lot of YouTubers, that I've talked to personally have personal rules where they will watch the comments for so many minutes and then they're done. Even Swanstrom addresses that with how he does his social media and his YouTube and everything like that. You can't. It's one of us or one YouTuber versus 100,000 subs. Like you can't.
yeah. I don't understand the reference on that, but
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
James. Yeah, James, I do really love all your comments.
Yeah, Amex. Yeah, it's the Facebook thing, and the funny thing about Facebook is it notifies you that it's somebody's face or birthday, and then it's like you don't even know it, and then I feel like people just comment happy birthday and never even know it. So me and my wife, like we hid ours on Facebook. So it's like if you really don't know me and know it's my birthday, then like it's not Facebook's not going to tell you it's my birthday.
Well,
Like
Facebook lets me down in the first place because I only see it the next day when that person's thanking everybody for their happy birthdays. I'm like, ah, cool.
yeah, that happens to me too. But like if you're a really close friend, I'm just gonna text you
Yeah,
versus
absolutely.
to make it more personal versus
Yeah.
Facebook telling me that it's your birthday.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I don't know if I glitched out in between, but I said if we got 55 likes total, I'll go grab one of the turbos. Like I said, there's a pair. I'll grab one and I'll show y'all what's going on in this unit because I haven't posted anything online or anything like that. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Have you even posted the motor or anything? You ain't posted none of that. Yeah. But you have all
No.
that. Have the motor in the transmission.
Yeah, transmission is back there somewhere. It's a 2-speed Mark Mickey 400.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a very very nice unit. I got lucky. I can't afford a new one.
yeah,
It's a used transmission out of a car a friend of mine bought, and it just worked out. Because otherwise, there's no way in hell I could afford a new 2-speed Mark Mickey 400.
yeah,
There's no way. But yeah, that's I do have that. The motor is still in my engine builders. There is no rush in him having it sit there complete. I don't want the valve spring sitting loaded or anything like that until I'm actually ready. So that's my reasoning. I have. Can you see right there? That's a foam big block, lightweight.
yeah. For mock
It
up,
makes it easy for mock up. And now
yeah. They're
those
nice.
they're expensive.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them. It's nuts. Or just to have an engine that's gutted. That's completely gutted is nice for mock up.
Yeah, yeah. That price is disrespectful on those things. I'll tell you that.
So if y'all have any last minute questions, it's been 88 minutes. Just rolled 88 minutes. So
Yeah,
I got
let's
other
let's
stuff.
go.
It's almost 8:30. I got some other stuff that I have to take care of tonight. So I'm not gonna roll this. But what we will do is how much are you off work till are you off till like the first? Or are you going back or
Yep. Yep. Nope. I got a week off.
so what we'll do, y'all, is we'll try to jump on one or two more times be-
Absolutely.
before the first and try to keep everybody up to date because I know I'm going to roll at a pretty fast pace. And then that way, hopefully, some other people can get on. And the next one we do, maybe we'll schedule it out 24 hours so everybody, has notice. And then we'll try to touch base again maybe after Christmas.
Yep. I got a bunch more stuff to do. I got enough content for another video. I try to stay like we talked about a few ahead
I'm like three
and
days.
stuff like that.
If I flip the
Yeah.
around on that, they'd be lost. Like, this, there,
Uh,
I'm
luckily,
3 days, but literally, their YouTube is like 3 days behind of where I'm actually at.
luckily, there's so many bars right there. You have to really pay attention to see what's
Yeah. So
what's new sitting in there.
is it going to be a low 4 second truck?
Uh, yes, the old truck was a low 4 second truck with a 388 cubic inch LS. So I hope this 540 don't let me down.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool
yeah,
deal.
I'm trying to go run and do everything.
Cool.
But I mean, what did James say? Yeah, how to use actual motor. Yeah, yeah, James, and that
Me too.
sucks, man. That's really heavy.
Me
That's
too.
that's that's heavy, and y'all know the deal, man. Doing a chain fall or a chain engine hoist, it's yeah, it's nuts. But
Yeah.
but
Hey,
but yeah,
I had thought about the weekly stuff. It's just sometimes as a YouTuber, you just want to work and make progress and not, because I mean, like me, this has been an hour and a half.
yep,
Uh, you could do a lot in an hour and a half. And so to, take the time to do the lives, I would love to do once a week, but there's some weeks that it's hard. If you work four
I
nights
would.
out a week, or 5 nights out of the week, and if you give the sixth night to live, then you're only left one night, for the wife, husband or wife,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, correct. I love the
So
podcast idea. Honestly, I really do. I like to talk about stuff, and as long as you talk with people that are very open with what they're doing, because you're not going to be talking to a no time racer and
yeah.
getting anything out of that. They're smart and stuff, but they're not going to tell the world what they're doing. They feel they have some sort of magical advantage, and
But
I'm not here for that.
me and Jason could definitely work together and start, picking up, even if
Mhm.
it's every couple weeks or something, and try to answer some questions, whether it's collision side or whether it's chassis side or even salvage titles or whatever, and try to maybe do something more regularly. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's just kind of what I'm looking forward to. And I want to, like I said, just like you, I want to help inspire somebody. This is a full build from start to finish, and also on your build, a lot of people can relate to that. Hey, how to modify this to make it work with what I already have. And I feel honestly, probably a lot more people can relate to what you're doing than what I'm doing because I'm crazy.
yeah, well, yeah, a lot of
Just
a lot of people just don't have the money to even buy the tools. I mean, there's a lot of people that just,
Mhm.
man, they got 60 extra bucks a week, 100 extra bucks a week. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
and it sucks. But yeah,
Yeah, it's the world. It's the world we live in, man. It just it's nuts.
Yeah.
You
But I'm
know.
gonna hop off of here, everybody. We're gonna let Jason get to work or whatever, and we will definitely hit y'all back up sometime after Christmas. I'll schedule it. Make sure for both of the pages y'all are turning on the notifications, so you can get notified when we do, pop up to everything 3 to 5 times. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
Y'all hold on. Don't go nowhere yet.
and definitely go sub to Jason's channel. Uh, Phil, you'll have to hit check out Jason's channel because he covers a lot, and he can definitely show some of that. If y'all hang tight, I think he's going to get something. He might actually going to be not keep to his word. Let's see. He ain't gonna keep to his word. David, Jason's channel's name is in the title. Look at that. So his channel, the title of this video has his channel name in it. That thing's bad, son.
Yep. What size is your turbo?
94.
Okay, imagine having a pair of them.
No, that's nuts. That's a lot.
I'm not really sure where I'm gonna fit it, but you get the
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, 'cause they're big.
So when you ask how fast should it be, I don't
It
know. Whatever a pair of twin 94s will get you.
should be pretty fast. But yeah, David, definitely go check out Jason's channel. Make sure you turn on notifications, because he might go live by himself from time to time or whatever. But definitely sub and check it out because he's going to show y'all everything. Hopefully
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah, I
But
try to go
cool.
step by step.
Yeah, everybody enjoy Christmas and binge watch Jason's channel. You can go catch up on everything. He don't have that many. You can Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, instead of getting drunk and dealing with your family, put your earbuds in and binge watch his channel and catch up. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. Same thing with your stuff, but man,
yeah,
I appreciate everything. I
mine too.
appreciate you going live and stuff like that, and all the support and stuff. This is a fun journey. I think it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all, everybody have a good Christmas, and we will catch up with y'all after Christmas.
All right. Yep. Same.
All right,
Everybody have a
Jason.
Merry Christmas. Later,
All right,
buddy.
buddy. Later.